Welcome to another edition of Practical English, your smart guide to the English language. I am your host, Peter from Canada, coming to you by way of Sao Paulo, Brazil. And today we are going to be looking at the simple past. The simple past, the main use of this tense is completed actions in the past. To form the simple past, in most cases, it's simply a matter of adding ed to the end of regular verbs. But there are some spelling rules. You can see stop becomes stopped with two P's. So if the verb ends in a vowel and a single consonant, you double the last consonant. Like becomes liked just with a D, not ed. If the verb ends in an E, we only add a D. And you see the past tense of worried and studied are spelled IED. If the verb ends in a consonant and a Y, then you lose the Y and add IED. But English has many irregular verbs, and in the case of irregular verbs, the past becomes a completely different word. There are far too many to list here, so I've just listed some of the more common ones and some of the ones that students have had difficulty with. So the past tense of go is went. Be actually has two past tense forms. And the good thing about the simple past is it is the same for all people except with the verb to be. So we have I was, he was, she was, it was. But for the plural conjugation, they were, we were, and for both the singular and plural, you were. The past of take is took. The past of have is had. The past of can is could. And the past of sit is sat. All right, as I mentioned, the simple past is the same for all people, so it's pretty easy. I played soccer, you watched TV, he ate lunch. Ate is the past tense of eat, which is a regular verb. To make negatives, we use not with the auxiliary verb did, usually contracted to didn't. I didn't play soccer. You didn't watch TV. He didn't eat lunch. And we also use did to make questions. Did I play soccer? Did you watch TV? Did he eat lunch? And of course, if you are using question words, the question word comes before the auxiliary verb. So, let's get some practice here. Let's take a look at this story about a failed vacation and complete it with the verbs at the top. So, 4 years ago, we decided to go away for the weekend. We to go to Portugal. Your clue here is the preposition to. What is a verb that links to go with the preposition to? That verb is want. It's a regular verb, so we wanted to go to Portugal. So we, a beautiful apartment online. What is a verb that collocates with an apartment? Well, arrive could, but arrive would need to use a preposition, at, but there's no preposition here. So the correct choice here is book, meaning to make a reservation. This is a regular verb, so we booked a beautiful apartment online. A week later, we a taxi to the airport. Again, with these type of exercises, you need to think collocations. What collocates with a taxi? That verb would be take. And we already know take is an irregular verb. The past tense is took. We took a taxi to the airport. We at the airport at 2 o'clock. I mentioned before the verb arrive needs a preposition, at. So there it is. It's a regular verb, so we arrived at the airport at 2 o'clock, and we to check in. Your correct verb here is go. In the past, it is an irregular verb, so we went to check in. The woman at the desk, us, for our passports. Again, collocations. The preposition for. What verb goes with for? That is ask. A regular verb, so asked us for our passports. We in our bags and our coat pockets. Your verb here is look. We looked in our bags and in our coat pockets, but we find them. This is a negative, cannot. So, irregular verb, we couldn't find them. So we home again. Only one verb left, that is the second go, so we went home again. It was a miserable weekend. That sucks. All right, let's take a look at questions in the simple past. We're going to take a look at some questions about a vacation in Vancouver. This is actually really simple to figure out. Let's look at the example. Where did you go on holiday last year? Your key to figuring this out is the answer. We went to Vancouver. Vancouver is a place, so the question word for places is where. And remember quasi. The auxiliary verb is did. And the subject is you. The verb in the answer is went, which is the past tense of go. Remember, in questions, in the past, with auxiliary verbs, we always use the infinitive because the auxiliary is in the past. So where did you go on holiday last year? Not where did you went? Wow, a good time? Yes, we had a great time. This is a yes or no question, so there's no question word, just the auxiliary, did, then the subject, you. The verb is had, but the infinitive is have. So did you have a good time? I went with my family. My family are people. So the question word for people is who. The auxiliary, did. The subject is you. And went is the past tense of go. So who did you go with? We stayed in a hotel. A hotel is a place. So the question word for places is where. The auxiliary, did. The subject, you. And stayed is the past tense of stay. So where did you stay? Number 4 and 5 are a little trickier. They cost about £2,000. The question word for amount, or question phrase rather, is how much. The auxiliary verb did. The subject is provided for you. How much did the plane tickets? And the verb is cost. And the last one is a little tricky too. It was hot and sunny. The end of the question, though, gives you a hint. The weather like. Here, the question word would be what, because this is a question with the verb to be. And your verb here is be in the past tense. So what was the weather like? It was hot and sunny. All right, that's it. A little longer than usual, but I hope it was helpful. If you found it helpful, please like and subscribe. And thank you to all the people who've been listening the past week. That's going to be it for this week, but next week I will be back with more pronunciation tips and vocabulary and grammar. So until then, thank you very much.